Episode 7. All that is, and the agony of creation. The question of why. So far, we've explored how reality is shaped, how the self is multidimensional, and how dreams may function as a private workshop of consciousness. But sooner or later, every seeker hits the same wall. We have to ask the ultimate question. Why? Why does anything exist at all? Why is there a universe rather than nothing? What powers thought, meaning, imagination, and life? And what is the nature of the source behind it all? In this episode, we step into one of the deepest concepts in the Seth material, all that is. We aren't talking about the old man in the sky of traditional religion, nor are we talking about a cold, mathematical accident. Seth describes a source that is alive, aware, and intimately present, closer than breath itself. Quick note, this is a metaphysical model, not established science. Use what expands you, and leave the rest. Beyond the human definition of God, Seth often avoids the word God, because for many people, that word carries centuries of fear, judgment, and human projections. We tend to imagine God as a person with human emotions, someone who can be angry, jealous, or proud. Instead, Seth uses the phrase, all that is. This is not a person sitting outside the universe, watching from above. It is a living field of consciousness, a psychological gestalt that expresses itself as creation. In this view, every atom, every star, every emotion, and every idea is not separate from the source, it is the source in motion. And here's the surprising part. Seth suggests that all that is, isn't finished. It isn't static perfection frozen in time. It is a becoming, an expanding intelligence that explores its own infinite potential through countless points of view, including yours. In this model, you are not a servant of a distant God. You are a participant. You are a unique perspective through which the source learns what it can be. You are the eyes, ears, and heart of the Creator in the field of physical matter. The primary agony, the birth of reality. One of the most poetic and challenging ideas Seth introduces is what he calls the primary agony. He asks us to imagine a before, not in time, but in condition, a state of absolute subjective existence where all that is held infinite possibilities within itself, worlds, lives, songs, civilizations, all present as intense potential, but not yet free. Imagine an artist who can envision a masterpiece perfectly in their mind. They can see every color, every shadow, every emotion. The vision is so real, it pulses with life. But they have not yet placed a single stroke on canvas. Seth describes a kind of divine tension here. It wasn't suffering as punishment, but the pressure of creative love that demanded expression. The source loved its thought creations so much that it wanted them to have their own lives, their own choices, and their own independence. It wanted its thoughts to be able to say, with authenticity, I am. Seth frames the beginning as a profound act of self-sacrifice and release, a movement in which the source expressed itself into countless centers of awareness so that life could become real through choice. In this telling, the Big Bang is not merely matter exploding, it's intent unfolding. It's freedom entering the stage, and the risk of freedom is real. Some fragments may forget the source for a time, until they remember again. Expansion, and the need for you from this origin. Seth suggests the universe is fundamentally relational and cooperative. Since everything originates from this one psychological source, everything carries a spark of that same consciousness, from minerals, to cells, to complex minds. This is why Seth reframes the concept of evil. He sees it not as a permanent cosmic force, but as misdirected energy, ignorance, fear, and the sense of separation. It is the painful confusion that happens when a fragment forgets the whole. And here's the personal implication. Your life matters not as a test you must pass to get into a good place, but as a perspective that adds something unique to the fabric of reality. When you learn a truth, all that is expands. When you create something new, a new part of the source becomes visible. When you love, the original creative tension deepens. In Seth's model, all that is doesn't stand apart judging you. It participates through you. It feels what you feel. This means your struggles are never meaningless. They are part of how consciousness discovers the depth of courage, the necessity of compassion, and the power of transformation. You are providing data of the heart that the source needs to understand itself, the divine mirror. So how do you connect with all that is? Seth's answer is simple. You don't have to chase it in distant temples. You don't have to earn its favor through fear or ritual. Because if you are a fragment of the source, then the doorway is already inside you. It is the very consciousness you use to think your thoughts. When you create, whether it's a meal, a business, a song, a solution, or a child, you're mirroring the original impulse of the primary agony. You are taking a non-physical idea and giving it the gift of life. When you love another person, you touch a shadow of that original creative tension, the urge to give life, freedom, and meaning to another. The Seth material calls you an apprentice creator. You are in the Earth School, learning to handle energy with more awareness, more responsibility, and more love. So here's the question I want to leave you with. What does it feel like to imagine God, not as a judge, but as a living source, learning through your eyes? Comment below. Do you feel that spark of creation in your own life? Where does it show up most, in your work, your art, your relationships, or your moments of healing? If this expanded your view, like the video and subscribe for episode 8, where we explore the nature of time and why Seth suggests the past, present, and future may all coexist in what he calls the spacious present. I am your host, and this is Seth Speaks. You are a part of all that is, and your life is a masterpiece in progress. I'll see you in the next reality.